With so many Pokemons, fans have probably forgotten a lot of them. Or at least they're not talking about them or thinking about them a lot at all. So what are some forgotten Pokemons? This does not include Pokemon like Illumise and Volbeat because they are memorable because people don't like them. And because people remember them for being forgotten. And then we also have Pokemon that people don't like and kind of just ignore. And they aren't forgotten, they're just ignored because people don't like them. These are genuinely forgotten Pokemons. Okay, so the first one is Cherubi and Cherim. So let's be honest, we don't remember Cherim. I've not seen anyone talk about it, and the only game I can think about that it was in is Legends Arceus, but that's just because it was annoying to get for the Pokédex. And when I had to complete the Pokédex for it, it was really annoying and just took a long time. And other than that, I can't remember anything about it. And I had to actually think quite a lot to remember this as well. So I just feel like it's a very forgettable Pokemon because I have not seen a lot about it at all. Nobody talks about it. And it has not been in a lot of games, so yeah, it doesn't really do anything there. It's not very competitive or anything like that. The next one is a little bit of a surprise, but it's Mantike and Mantine. I forget about these all the time. I never see anything about them and I genuinely can't remember a game where they were in. Maybe they were in Legends Arceus, but I'm not completely sure. And even though Mantine gets a pre-evolution later on, like I still don't see anyone remember it. And I don't see anyone use it and ever talk about it. So like it really is forgettable and I really don't remember it. But it is pretty cool that it evolves with a Remoraid. And it will probably be in winds and waves because of, yeah, it being water flying. It would just match winds and waves. Like, yeah. This is another Pokemon I'm very surprised is forgettable. And that's Licky. I don't think it's forgettable in the way where, oh yeah, you will of course remember it when you see it. You will be like, oh yeah, of course, Licky. And you won't be like, oh, that Pokemon exists. But who thinks of it? Who remembers it until you see it? I would even say similar for Lickitung, but it's a Gen 1 Pokemon and I still see it talked about every now and then. But I never see anything about Licky. And that's kind of sad because it's in later evolution. Later evolutions should be more memorable, but this one, no. And I think it's the least memorable evolution Pokemon in Gen 4. But like I said, it's not memorable at all. This might not be as much as the others, but we have Victini. Victini is definitely the most forgettable of the small mythicals. And I never see anyone talk about it. I wouldn't be surprised if that's because like it hasn't been in any games recently or anything like that. And it really should return. But it still feels like one of the most forgettable mythicals and legendaries in general. And like I said, I don't see a lot of people talk about it at all. I never see anything about Victini. Victini is so interesting as a Pokemon with the whole victory thing, always winning, but like still I don't see anything about it at all. And obviously this is my experience, my opinions, so I might be wrong. Maybe you see a lot of Victini. But I see nobody ever talk about it. But Victini isn't the only forgettable mythical. We also have Sarud. It's just with Sarud, I'm feeling like it's starting to be memorable for being forgotten. But let's be honest, 50% of Pokemon fans didn't know what Sarud was. It doesn't really even feel like a Pokemon in the movie. And who watched that movie? I remember watching it, but just a little bit, and I remember being pretty confused and like not really enjoying the movie that much. And he just kind of popped into the game and then was there and then disappeared and has never been talked about after the movie or anything like that. They should have just made a movie about another like legendary instead. Or yeah, another mythical that already exists that didn't have a movie. They would also have like another sort of form, and that's so weird. Like, why is that a different Pokemon in the games as well? Like, why? And I wouldn't say there's anything interesting about Sarud either. But I do hope we can see more of it in future games. Then we have Ferrothorn. And Ferrothorn is another one that I feel like is starting to be a little bit more memorable for being forgotten. But it's, of course, still very forgettable. And I don't think a lot of people think about it. And it should get some more love. But yeah, I don't see anyone talk about it at all. And when I see someone talk about it, it's very rare, but then I see that it should get justice or something. That Ferrothorn should get something, you know? I didn't say it, but I am counting Ferocida here as well. But who thinks of Ferocida as well? Ferrothorn is more memorable than Ferocid. But Ferrothorn is still a Pokemon that I do see some people like. But then the rest of the Pokemon fans has just completely forgotten about it, you know? Now we come to the top Pokemons that I think are the most forgotten of all of them. Because I had to look through the Pokédex multiple times just to remember these. I obviously have more, so if you want to see another video like this, please comment it. And if you're enjoying the video so far, please feel free to subscribe and leave a like. But before we go over the most forgettable Pokemons, I have some honorable mentions. We have Clang and Dolliv specifically, because they're really just forgettable and I don't think anyone really remembers them. I always forget that Clang is a Pokemon because that's apparently a 3-stage evolution line. And kinda similar with Dolliv, because how do you get Dolliv in Scarlet and Violet? It's not anywhere. I don't think I've seen it at all in the wild. And then some Gen 9 Pokemons that aren't forgotten yet. And that's Squawkability, Flittle, and maybe Bramblin. Even though they are memorable now, I feel like that's mostly because it's Gen 9. And my guess those are gonna be some of the most forgettable ones later on. So okay, let's get into the most forgettable Pokemons. First we have an alien guy from Gen 5, Elgyem, and of course Elgyem as well. These are my favorite, most forgettable Pokemons, because even I forget about them when I'm trying to remember them. I don't even know if they have been in a regional Pokédex since they came out. So they really need to return, and I see nobody talk about them. We really need to see more of them. And I feel like they should be talked about more. They have so interesting concepts and designs. But because it's Gen 5, it has a level 40 evolution, which is crazy. Who wants to have Elgyem for 40 levels and then it evolves and it doesn't even have over 500 base stat total? Like, who wants that? But I think they're really cool and should get some more love by the fans and by just everyone. They really deserve it, and it's so sad to see how forgettable they are, that even I, who enjoy them and like them, forget about them. This video wasn't really in a specific order until these last ones, and I wanted to put this one higher, but I feel like that's mostly my personal opinion. Or we got this Pokemon in Gen 9, specifically in the DLC, where we got pretty interesting Pokemons. We got a lot of legendaries, we of course got Driplin and Archelodon. What else did we get? We also got Poltergeist and Sinistra. I do think a lot of people have forgotten about it and just don't think about it at all. And I might be completely wrong, but this is my personal opinion. And that was why also I didn't want to put it higher up, even though it's really high up still. But it is the most forgettable Gen 9 Pokemon, and yeah, I don't see anyone talk about it and anyone being interested in it. The naming thing is pretty cool, but still. And maybe we'll see more of it in the future and remember it more then. But like I said, I don't think anyone is talking about this Pokemon, and I haven't seen anyone talk about it. And like, I don't think most people like it as well. I don't think anyone has anything against it, but still. We now have 3 Pokemon lines left. And the next one is Baltoy and Claydol. These are also really cool and interesting, but nobody talks about them. And I've never seen anyone talk about them. And yeah, they have probably not been in a game in a while as well. I can't remember them. But I gotta say, they are some of the most forgettable Pokemons, which is kinda sad to see. And I feel like a lot of fans haven't even seen them before, which again is pretty sad. But I do feel like they're liked by the people who remember them. But maybe even them forget about them as well, just like I said I do. And I hope people remember them more in the future. Next up is Swoobat and Swoobat. And you might be confused of who these guys are, because I haven't seen anyone talk about them, anyone use them, anyone like them at all. And I do feel like Swoobat is more memorable than Swoobat, but still, they're both so forgettable. And yeah, I really don't think people remember Swoobat. I think it's kind of sad because it has an interesting design, but it doesn't have much else going for it, and it has not been in a lot of games either. But Swoobat is still not the most forgettable Pokemon. This next Pokemon is a Pokemon I don't even think you'll know by me saying it. Or at least not the first evolution. It's called Morlo. Have you heard that name before? Because I think of all of the Pokemon names, this is the one that I remember the least. I did not know it was called Morlo. But maybe you did know this one. Or maybe you didn't. And if you didn't, do you know Shiinotic? Still a very forgettable name. But this Pokemon is this one. This is Morlo and Shiinotic. And maybe now you remember them. But I wouldn't be surprised if there is a lot of people out there who are like, what is that Pokemon? Because what is it? Like, I forget that this one exists. I forget that it even is a Pokemon. And when I see it, I'm like, what? Oh yeah, that's a Pokemon. What? Oh, what? This is the Pokemon that I would type in the last when guessing all of the Pokemons. I will do that. I have thought about doing that. But that's besides the point. I don't think people remember this. I don't see anyone talk about it. Like the other ones I've seen people talk about, I've never seen anyone talk about this card. Or these two. It's another grass fairy type. I feel like it's more should be like, I don't know, grass poison, grass ghost, grass psychic. Because look how creepy it is. And nothing against creepy fairy types, but it just doesn't feel like a fairy type. And I'm also gonna be honest, I forget that this is a Sun and Moon Pokemon. It's from Sun and Moon? Yes. I thought it was from Sword and Shield. This is the only Pokemon I get confused of where it is from. You could tell me any other Pokemon and I would know where it is from. This is the only one. Only one. The person who came up with this one, bro, I don't know what you were thinking. It's an interesting design, but sadly, nobody remembers it. So yeah, Morlul and Shiinotic is the top Pokemons that are most forgettable, at least in my opinion. I do think everyone agrees on this. But yeah, that's the list. I do have more Pokemons that I think are forgettable, so please tell me what Pokemons you think are forgettable. And please tell me if I forgot any Pokemons, because maybe I forgot them because they're so forgettable. Also, let me know in the comments if you agree with this list, or if you don't. Other than that, I have a video right here where I talk about Pokemons that need new evolutions in Winds and Waves. And I hope to see you there or in another video. So thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to subscribe and like as well. It would mean a lot to me. But with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. So have a great rest of your night, day, morning, or whatever. Peace out and don't forget to follow.